Hello and welcome to my starting layout tutorial for your new zoo. Now this is my take on how you can start up your zoo in terms of path layout, placing staff facilities, placing first habitats. I think this way can be very effective in terms of staff and guest pathing, in terms of space that is allocated, and also at last and not least in terms of possible future expansions from this starting layout. So let's get on to it, shall we? Now we start by plopping some paths. We are offered this path from the starting entrance building. This path is 7 meters wide, which is very ineffective, because starting grids of any buildings or the building block is actually 4 meters. That's pretty standard, and 7 meter and 4 meter are not dividable well. So I'm suggesting you to remove this connection and start over with 8 meter wide path. This is pretty easy to do. Just run your mouse over this entrance or path and right click there, which will remove the path, and then right click for the second time, and all you have left is this entrance to 4 meter wide paths. Now let's select 4 meter wide path. You can choose any design you want. We will go for the rustic path here, for example, and we will do one path here. We will not continue this way, but with your mouse we will wrap over back to the other entrance, and we will create this round shape. Now this is the hardest part, I think, regarding the paths in this tutorial. We're gonna select 8 meter wide path, and now with your mouse you should try to align this to the straightforward. See, if I move my mouse, the path is creating the certain angle, and I want it to be straight and nicely done. So left click and it's done, and then left click once more to create this sort of a path nibble forward, which will be base for our grid. Now in the right bottom corner we will align to grid, and we will select this one path nibble. Now all the paths we will be placing will be aligned to this one nibble path, and it will have the same width, and it will create sort of a grid. There are two options. You can go for the round edges, see, or the square edges. We will select the square edges because I think it's better this way. And now bear with me, we're gonna do a certain number of steps here which I want you to replicate in order to get the starting layout correct. Okay, so it's gonna be 3 steps forward, right? 1, 2, 3. Now it's gonna be 2 steps to the right, 1, 2, and do the same with one more row closer to the entrance, 1, 2. This will create some sort of a nice plaza in the entrance. We will do the 3 steps to the left, 1, 2, 3, and repeat with the next row, 1, 2, 3. This is the plaza to the left, and then we will do 2 more steps to the left, 1, 2, which will be our main path, and then number of steps to this way doesn't really matter now. I'm picking this white path here because there will be, once your zoo will grow, there will be a huge influx of people, and we certainly don't want our entrance to be crowded and people stuck because they just cannot go over the crowd. Alright, so that's the starting path. Now I think it's time to place some facilities. We want these facilities to be within the range of our entrance building and its power. You probably know the heat map, right? So you can either press H or click to the bottom left and select the 1, 2, 3, 5th one. It will show where we have power provided. The entrance building provides us the power, so we definitely want the staff facilities to be placed within this range. This way we don't need to place down power station yet. It will save us some money. Now here's a little trick for you. You can use the terrain tool, painting, grab a soil, and then make around the edge of the power range, just paint some soil. Now if I close the heat map, I can easily see where I need to place my staff facilities. The trick is that painting the terrain is free, right? You can use the painting terrain for any sort of a painting. For example, if you want to show or prepare layout of some future buildings, like I do, I want my staff facilities to be placed right here, so I can make this painting on the ground. It helps you to visualize things. Okay, let's go to facilities, and we want staff facilities, and there's a lot of blueprints because we have some research done. We don't want to see that. We can turn this off by clicking blueprints and blueprints off. Now all we see is these bare bones staff facility buildings, which we are going to plop down right now. Okay, now we will start with some big ones. So let's go quarantine small, and we want to align it perfectly against the entrance like this, and make it at least one grid that is shown here, one grid far from the main road. This way we won't get any negative influence of these buildings on the guests. Let's plop it down, and then we can continue plopping down all other facilities which we will need. We will start from the left, so let's go with Trade Center, let's go with Keeper Hut, then what's next? Research Center. Now we can go this way. Now make sure you create some space here, because the road, the staff path, not the road, will actually we want to provide it here to this space. So staff room is next, like this. That's surgery, and what's missing at last? Workshop. Do we have the doors correctly? Yes. Okay, I think this is very good starting layout of our staff facilities. You can do the layout however you want, but I suggest you keep some sort of a entrance point to this way, to the entrance, and to the other way. I will show you. Now it's I think time to connect them with the paths. Okay, so let's go staff paths, whichever you like, and then just create one nibble from, for example, the workshop, like this. It's the same trick we already used at the entrance. Now we will go 4 meter wide, we will click align to grid, and we will select this one path nibble we just created, and this will be alignment to our grid. Now right click to the existing paths that were created automatically when we place the building. We don't want that, and instead we're gonna place grid-like path right here. Okay, it does not allow us. That's a great example actually. With this we might get some problems a little bit. You can see the grid is not perfectly aligned with the buildings we have. Make sure you have it perfectly aligned. So we will deselect the grid and we will try to make it better. We can do the grid on existing path, for example like this. I can align the grid to the path, main path we created, or we can choose the buildings or basically any gridded items. So we select, for example, what to select. We try the workshop, right? This should be much better. So we will select the workshop, and now we make the path on the grid with this workshop building, which is perfectly aligned with that building, which is what we want. So let's place down some path. And like I said, we want to make some path here in the back side, and we of course want to connect here to the main path, and then we will make some connections to this side. Now we have the basic grid, but we don't have the connections, so let's deselect the grid and now make sure you have all your facilities connected. As you can see, the vet surgery is already connected, but the workshop is not. There is a little strip of grass, so make sure when you show your mouse over the workshop, it will offer you the connection. Here it is, here it's not. Let's finish all of them here and here. Now we have all the stuff facilities connected, and of course we want to connect this one here. Did it connect? What's happening? Sorry, it got stuck a little bit. Something. Now it's good. Okay, there you have it. We have our stuff facilities placed just here. I like this layout because now we can place some habitat around these stuff facilities, and any keeper, any vet, any mechanic will have very short path to go to our first habitats. So let's go place them. We will go barrier, and I'm gonna show you on this side of my layout square or gridded version of the habitats. Okay, so we will go with concrete, doesn't really matter, whatever you like, and we place one down, and then we will go with straight selections. We will select an angle snap, and we want length 9 meters. Yes, 9 meters is fine. And we go 2 to the right, and then, well, this depends on the animal which you will be getting. You want your first habitats to be big enough for any animal you wish to have. So I will show you a little design which I think can work for the most starter animals, and if not, you can adjust. Okay, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the top, then 1, 2 to the right, and 2 more to the top, and we will finish the square like this. And then, yeah, finish please, yes. And then we will make one more connections to this side. Now we can either move it by this button, or if we hit the plus, we will create new barrier, and we will divide this habitat. Is it? No, it's not perfectly straight. If you are a perfectionist like me, you can change it by grabbing this move button, and you can move, you see, like this. Fortunately, the angle snap right now does not work for us. Now this little, like an arrow, works as an way to select the barrier, and then if you grab them all, you can make a better height, like 3 meters. Yeah, I like above 3 meters, because this way the guests won't see over it, and we can force them to use certain viewpoints. So for this habitat, let's go with this one. We can either choose a glass, but beware, the concrete has a resistance grade of 6, which for, I don't know, warthogs, the 2 is enough, the straightforward glass, but for the elephants, I don't know, for the hippos, the glass might not be enough. So there is a little trick. We can go back to the concrete, so the resistance grade will stay the 6, but then in the bottom right corner we can select right here a window. Now we have a great glass window, but we keep the characteristics of a concrete wall. So that's a little neat trick that some of the people don't know about. Now you can certainly make like all the habitat barrier with the window, so the guest can see basically from anywhere. I do not suggest to you to do that, because we want to give our animals some privacy, maybe throw some rocks in here which they can hide behind, and they are not stressed. Alright, This is our first two habitats. I will not go further by doing those habitats. This is just to give you an idea of a layout you can achieve here. Two starter habitats for, let's just say, tortoise, maybe warthogs, ostriches. That should be enough. Now on the other side we want to create another one or two habitats. Let's just say that we want some some bigger animal here. For example, we might want to have cheetahs, whatever, and we want to be more creative with the design, right? I will create one more aligned barrier here, and then we can go crazy, right? We turn off angle snap, we go length 5 meters, and we go curved sections, and we can create like nice curvy habitat here, whatever you may prefer. I will go like this, and once again this is pretty simple habitat. We go with the, what is this, bricked area, and we can create like a viewing points right here. This looks nice. We can place, I think we can place cheetahs here. You will see. Now it's certainly time to make them a habitat, and we can do this by placing the gate. Now you can see we have perfect viewing points from the guests from around. We will finish up the paths in a second. So the guests will go around, but actually staff will have so quick way to our habitats from the facilities, and that's the exact reason why we created those connection points to this side. Okay, this is maybe not ideal, but we can certainly connect up the path here. Yes, we can. So okay, it worked. Now we will finish up the paths around. I think we can go with the grid. So select the grid. We already have not the stuff path, regular path, rustic, yes. 1, 2, 3, and you see if you use the 9 meter barrier length, it will align perfectly with what we have for our 8 meter paths. So we can go this way, and then of course we can deselect grid and go for, I don't know, 6 meter path maybe, and go crazy with some curvy design to this side. And then we will finish from this side, make a little nice curve along our habitat, and that's it. We have the path around, and of course we want to finish the stuff path so we can expand on our zoos later this way, and the paths will have pretty short the stuff, sorry, will have pretty short path to this side here. Now we have this little spare space right against our entrance, and this is actually no coincidence. In your starting layout, don't forget to add some exhibit, because there's a little money maker. If you have money, I suggest you to place it right here in this spot. I think it's a good spot because the guests will have enough bandwidth here, and you can also create like a backdoor path for your stuff to go and take care of this exhibit like this. And then if you grab basically any wall and create 1, 2, 3, 4 walls here, you can place a sign like welcome to our zoo or something like that right here, and when the guests will come from the entrance, they will see it right away. Now we are not finished yet, bear with me. We want to have some facilities for our guests in our initial layout. I suggest you to place the information center to the right here. And okay, let's get away from this group. We will start a new group. Information center. Now we will place it here facing away from the entrance. That has a reason. You could certainly place it right here on the main road, but I advise you not to do that, because the queue will start happening in front of this information center, or if it's food stall, drink stall, whatever it is, do not place it like this near the path. The queue will block other guests which are just coming in or out of our zoo. The same way you should not do it on this path. Basically any path that is in your entrance, you want to have guests to be able to use all the width of that path, or you might get the some crowds to be happening. Now we will place toilets, and then I prefer to place some food stall and a drink stall in the beginning. Somebody does not do it in the initial layout. I do. I think you can pretty fast, once the guest number will increase, you can pretty fast get them to create money for you, which is in franchise mode I think very important. In sandbox mode it's up to you. But don't forget also to place an ATM somewhere. Let's go here, because if guests don't have money, they cannot spend it, and we want them to spend as much money as they can. Now we have, sorry, yeah, I should not have rotated the camera, because we want to add some picnic benches right here. That's why we have reserved this space right here, and guests I think can flow pretty easily this way. Maybe one more less, because we have the exhibit here, and yeah, they can enjoy their meals on these picnic tables. Okay, I think this is it for our starting layout. If you followed my instructions correctly, you should still have like 12,000 money in the bank, which is I think more than enough to cover 3 habitats with not too expensive animals. If you think you need more, just leave out the exhibit out of it, because the exhibit box alone cost I think 4,000, and it can save you some money. Although if you just place the exhibit down and start reproducing it quickly, you can sell the juveniles for a nice profit. Also, do not forget to place those education boards around, and also the donation boxes I think. But I can cover these tips how to properly start your franchise maybe in another tutorial if this one is received well. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button or like if you like this video, and I hope this helped you, and I wish you good luck with your franchise, with your sandbox, and have a good one guys. See you later. Bye.